Hello, my name is John Wen. I'm a TRIRIGA developer. Today I'm going to talk about some enhancements we made to the security manager of TRIRIGA. Here's our agenda. First, some overview of the security manager, and then I'm going to talk about some pain points using the security manager and how we address these pain points. So the TRIRIGA Security Manager is where the system administrators assign permissions to security groups. This includes the builder tool permissions, module permissions, GUI permissions, GUI type permissions, and GUI section permissions, and UX model permissions. It does not include report permissions or document permissions. So here's the pain points using the TRIRIGA Security Manager. Number one, you can assign permissions of hundreds of elements to a security group, but there's no one place you can see all these permission records. You can see them one element at a time, but there's no central place you can see the big picture. Number two, permissions cannot be audited. You can turn on the TRIRIGA audit feature on security groups, but that does not track permission changes because permission records are not business object based. And number three is about the intersafe action in the permission assignment panel. We'll talk about that more in details later on. So let's now just jump into how we solve these pain points. First, for viewing all permissions in one place, we implement that in the Access tab. So the Access tab is where the administrators assign permissions in the Security Manager. Now, there are two sub-tabs in the Access tab. The first one is called Access Configuration, and the second one is called Access Summary. The Access Configuration contains the same content and functionality as the original Access tab. And the Access Summary is a new function we implemented to show all the permissions in one place. Now let's just drill into the Access Summary tab. So as you can see, there are two UI tables in the Access Summary tab. There's an Access Controls table and just a UX Model Access Controls table. The Access Controls table shows all the regular permissions. That's the builder tool permissions, the module permissions, GUI permissions, GUI type permissions, and GUI section permissions. We call that the regular permissions. And the UX model access controls shows all the UX model permissions. So initially, these two tables each take half of the screen, and there are two yellow buttons on the UX model access control table that you can use to adjust the size of these tables. For instance, if you want to focus on the regular permission, then you can just click on the down button. That way, the UX model access control table will be hidden, and the regular access control table will take up the whole screen. And if you want to do it the other way around, you want to focus on the UX model permissions, then you just click on the up button. And the other function we have on this screen is the export action on top of the access controls table. So you click on that, it will export all the permissions, including the regular permissions and the UX model permissions, into a text file. And you will get a permission when the export is finished. So if you look at the notification, and you will see where the file is. And the file basically is a tab delimited text file. You can easily copy the file content and paste that into a spreadsheet and view your data in a spreadsheet. So let's just drill down into the two UI tables now. So the top table is the access controls table. Just shows the regular permissions. It has 5 columns. The first column is the permission the name of the permission, and the next 4 columns defines what element the permission is on. For instance, if this is a form, if it's a permission on a form, then the module and the form columns will have value, and the tab and section columns will be empty. And the permissions can take the value of no access, read access, update, create, or delete. Or it can be an action name if the permission is defined on the action name. And in this screenshot, you can see some of these security groups can have like tens of thousands of permission records. So this table is designed pretty much like a TRIRIGA report or query. It's very familiar interface for TRIRIGA users. You can use this to paging or filtering or sorting data, so that this helps to manage your user data better. So next is the UX model access controls. This is the table that displays all the UX model permissions. It has 2 columns. The model column defines the name of what the model is, and the permission column defines the permission on the model. So the permission value can be read, update, create, or delete, and it can also be a name of an action on the UX model. Also, the table is designed to be similar to TRIRIGA query or report. It provides the capability for paging, sorting, and searching. So this concludes the solution of the problem of not being able to see all permissions in one place. Now let's go to security auditing. So security data setting is a very important data. So customers, they want to know who changed them and when the changes are made. From 3.5.2, security groups are now revisioned and labeled. And here we are using the revisioning for auditing security groups. And here's how it works. So every time a security group is saved in the security manager, there's a revision of it is created. The revision will contain exactly the same data as the security group as it is now. And then we added a revisions tab to the security manager, and the revisions tab will display all revisions in the list, and it will show the information of who made the change for that revision and when that revision was created. And you can select any 2 revisions from the list and compare to see the details between of the changes between the 2 revisions. And here's an example. As you can see, this shows the revisions tab of the TRIRIGA Asset Manager group in the system. And on top of the screen, you can see a list of all the revisions. You can see there are 6 revisions created for the security group, and each one of them shows the modified date and modified by. And the revisions 6 and 5 are selected and compared, and in the comparison result, you can see that the user named system changed the permission to classification from read to update for the group asset TRIRIGA Asset Manager, and the time for that change is December 9th, 2016 at 1:40 p.m. So it has all the detailed information about that change. So that concludes the solution for security auditing. Now let's look at the InnoSave. So Security Manager is a form-based UI. It has a save action that saves change to the security group. But before 3.5.2, if you look at the access tab, there's another save action inside of the tab that we call the inner save. So if you look at the asset tab of the security manager, you will see two save actions. So this is very confusing for users who don't know what they are. And here's how it works. So if you make any permission change, you have to first click on the inner save, to save the data into the database. If you don't do that, if you make change to the permissions and you move away, like you select another security element or move to another tab, or even if you click on the form level save, your permission changes will not be saved. Your data will be lost, and there's no warning. And so the other problem is that inner save is a problem for security manager auditing, because the revisions are created when the form level save is executed. It's not, I mean, we could implement it in a way so that we also create a revision in the inner save. But because the inner save is used a lot, it's used every time you change permission for one element. So if we create a revision at that time, that means we would be creating way too many revisions for security groups. So to solve that problem, what we did is that we just simply removed the inner save action. And so now you can go to Security Manager. You can make any change. You can change organization. You can change the geography of the group. You can add, remove members. You can change permissions of one element or multiple elements. In the end, you can just click on the form level save, and that will save all data you changed and create a single revision for all the changes. And if you made permission change and try to close the security manager without saving it, you will get a warning. That way you won't lose your data by accident. So that concludes the solution for the inner save. Now here's a little extra thing we did. It's not related to any of the pain points, but it's related to the security group overrides. Before 352, the group overrides are OM exported and imported as part of the security groups. But if you're familiar with the security group overrides, they are defined off of navigation collections, not as part of the security group. So naturally, it fits more to belong to navigation collections. So that we made that change that we would no longer export security group overrides as part of a security group, but we'll export them as part of the navigation collections. But for import, we will still take, if you have an OM package that contains a security group that has group override data, we will still import those group override data correctly, just for backwards compatibility for OM packages that are exported before 3.5.2. There are a couple of no issues. First is the access summary tab. First time you go there, and if you happen to open a group that has a lot of permission records, it can be slow. It's because we are doing some initial, lots of caching going on at that point. But after the initial load, then you should be much faster next time you go to the access summary tab. And another thing is that if you open the access summary tab for some old security groups, you will see some error message in the server log that says cannot find a tab 123 or cannot find a section 123 for form ABC. That's just because the element was the security permissions defined on element. The element was removed later on, but the security record just stays. And this message just simply says, the permission does not apply anymore, and we are not going to be display it. So this is it. Yeah, here's some reference materials. Thank you for viewing this video. Goodbye.